Hi everybody, it's author Sandra Wilson here in the Kindness Kangaroo Library for another kangaroo tale. Kindness Kangaroo, what story are we sharing today? Today we're reading Super Kids versus the Smog Monster, which was written by myself, Sandra Wilson, with the help of a grade 5 class from a local school. As part of the Kindness Kangaroo project, I visit classrooms of kids and we talk about specific stories or a specific topic for a story. For this case, we talked about smog. And then we got ideas for creating a story that I used to actually write the story. Then I sent it back to the classroom and they added their pictures so we could have an illustrated book. And that's the book workshop that I offer through the Kindness Kangaroo project. And the Super Kids Save the World book series was all about the environment. So I visited 8 different classrooms and we talked about 8 different things that cause problems for the environment. And all these monsters were fought by the Super Kids and they were taught to do something better. And that, I think, is important, that we can all learn to do better. And sometimes these books help do that. So stay tuned at the end and we'll talk more about why books like this are important, and visit the link below to find out more about the Kindness Kangaroo project and the Super Kids Save the World book series. Now, because I work with a classroom of kids, there's a lot more kids than story. And so there's a lot of pictures that I get. And I make sure every single picture is used in the book because they're so awesome. I don't want to not leave one out. So I'm going to show you some pictures that are not part of the story as well, but they are part of the book. For example, this smog monster was near the beginning. Okay, everybody, here we go. Super Kids versus the Smog Monster. The Super Kids were out on the court, throwing the ball and enjoying the sport, when suddenly a dark cloud came around and blackened the court from the nets to the ground. "What's going on?" they all wondered out loud. "What's the source of that really dark cloud? It's black like smoke and thick like fog. It must be," they agreed, "a big cloud of smog." Look at that big cloud of smog. My goodness. Then they saw the monster that made smog with each cough. "We need to find a way to turn that monster off." At first, they tried to give him words about how the smog will kill the animals and birds, and how it would make the air hard to breathe, but the monster didn't care and he wouldn't leave. The Super Kids now struggled to breathe the air, and they all had to get gas masks to wear. But that gave them a chance to come up with a plan, which would involve building a very big fan. The Super Kids decided that what this monster needs is to find himself surrounded by trees. Trees are great filters of pollutants in the air, but they would need a fan to get the monster there. A big fan was built and turned up too high. The Super Kids watched the smog monster blow by. They sent him off to a place of 1,000 trees so the smog could be filtered into a clean breeze. The smog monster lived in the woods for quite some time. After all, he had committed an environmental crime. The trees helped filter the nasty smog out and made the monster feel better, no doubt. Instead of eating the nasty smog, the monster was left to eat trees and logs. And then, not having smog to spread, the monster coughed out oxygen instead. Not only could the monster now cough clouds of clean air, but he could also spit seeds everywhere. And where each seed decided to go, a new tree would sprout and grow. The Super Kids were happy. Their plan was a success. The air was cleaner and the world less of a mess. The smog monster had changed his nasty ways, and the Super Kids had saved the day. And as I said, there's lots more pictures, so I'm going to just show you some more pictures of the Super Kids playing basketball, the smog monster, smog monster making a terrible mess, cleaning the trees, living among the trees now that he's not so smoggy. Look, this one's they caught the smog monster. And there's more Super Kids. More smog monsters. Here's another giant fan. Here's a Smog monster spitting out tree seeds. And here's one living in the woods. That Smog monster looks pretty happy. He must be feeling better. We have one on the back as well. So like I said, all the pictures are so good I wanted to use them all. So the pictures go longer than the story. But what's really cool about this story and stories like it is that it can help us get the conversation started. So we know there are some environmental problems going on in the world, but sometimes it's hard to understand what to talk about or how to talk about it. So reading a book that has a little bit of, fantasy in it, a big fan that blows the smog monster, and then this smog monster can spit out trees. Of course, it was all make-believe that we all came up with in the ideas in our book workshop. But what it does is it talks about what is smog, what causes smog, what can we do to fix smog? Because cleaning the air is one of the ways to do it, and planting trees is another way to do it. So there's some really important things in the story that we can use in our knowledge of environmental awareness. And so that's great about a story is get the conversation started about something like the environment. And because we find stories so important, we are asking you to help us spread the love of reading by sharing a book review. It could be Super Kids versus the Smog Monster. It could be a book that you've got at home that you've read over and over and over again because you love it so much. Maybe it's a book you got from a library and it's something new you hadn't read before and are excited to share it. Whatever book you pick, what you need to do is just send us a drawing. So you send a drawing about your favorite book, and then you give us your first name and your age, the title of the book, as well as the author. And if you can, give us a little bit of a line as to why you find that book so exciting. What's your favorite part of that book? Because then what happens? We share these book reviews with others, and they say, oh, I haven't heard of that book before, but this person really enjoyed it, so maybe I would like to try it as well. And that way, we're spreading the love of reading. But also, these book reviews are going to be put into a calendar that's going to help us raise money to support the Children's Reading Room. And the Children's Reading Room gives out books for free to kids. So it's really sharing the love of reading even more by giving out books. And we're really sharing the love of reading with our book reviews because the calendar can be hanging in libraries and bookstores and offices and apartments and houses. And then everybody gets to see these book reviews and learn about the books that are our favorites. So it is a great literacy project, and we hope that you can join us for it. Just check in the description below, and that will give you a link where you can get all the information and know where to send your drawing. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Kangaroo Tales, and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified when the next episode is on and we have another story to share. All right, everybody. Bye now.